Last week we would have mentioned to you about the primary plenary with the primary school students, and this week we actually have a recap for you about how it went. This morning I want to welcome Ryan McCool as he actually interviewed some of the students along with Ajay Allen, the debate facilitator. Check this out.
Blessed morning, Trinidad and Tobago. I am Ryan McCool, and today my name is Mr. Coolman, dubbed by my new friends, the participants of the 2024 Primary Plenary Debate. And just to introduce them really quickly, we have with us Liam, Dando, Leston, Eleni, Sienna, Kimora, Zion, and in between them, one of the debate facilitators, Mr. Ajay Allen. So, Mr. Allen, how difficult was it to prepare this bunch of these youngsters and them all together?
I mean, let me first say thanks to Presiding Officer Abby Taylor and the team at Assembly Legislature for promoting and pushing this initiative. I mean, it's the first of its kind, so it wasn't a walk in the park for us, but it was a learning experience for us as well as allowing the students to learn. So it was challenging technically because the students had known what they had wanted. So it was just to hone the craft, to guide them in the correct direction, to give them the necessary skills to, in a lot of the cases, scale back because the presentations were extensive before they actually presented, and we had to tell a lot of them, you only have 5 minutes or 4 minutes. So you need to cut this out, or you need to take this out, you need to streamline the presentation. Because they did some extensive research. I mean, if Trinidad and Tobago had the ability to hear these children for 10-15 minutes, I mean, we would still be in, or we would not be able to recover from the level of content.
Yeah, I could only imagine. You have a wonderful bunch here, Mr. Allen. I want to encourage all the parents and all the teachers. I want to say that they have done a wonderful job with you guys. I'm really proud of you guys.
It was very chilling.
It was thorough?
It was a fun and interesting experience.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Educational experience.
Fun as well.
It was exciting and a wonderful experience.
Well, with a group like this, it's definitely going to be fun and it's definitely going to be exciting. All right, so let's get straight into it. I mean, in doing your preparations for the debate, what are some of the things that you had to do, and what are some of the advice that you would give to somebody less than?
So first we'd have to look at the motion to understand what we have to write about or what we have to say. Then we have to do our research to get the information. Then we put the information together, try to fit it into 4 minutes, and then tirelessly practice until it's showtime.
I see you got a piece quite articulate there. Yes, and yes, Ms. Kimura, and she was the presiding officer, still in presiding officer mode.
Well, one of the things I had to do was to be calm and get ready for the things I had to do. Like calling on all the names of the area districts, even learning how to say certain words. Like, I didn't even know how to pronounce Montessori. I didn't even know it had a method like that. And my advice to others is to believe in yourself. And as you go through it, just breathe.
Yeah, just breathe, Ms. Reed said. Don't hold your breath too long, you might pass out. All right? So I mean, what was the most, I'm going to tackle Liam with this one. What do you think was the most impactful thing coming out of this debate experience for you? What do you think stays with you?
Well, I would think that the experience to share your debate with other people, just being in the legislature is a great experience for everyone, and to always let us as primary school people get a chance to speak in the debate, because usually it would be the high schoolers to talk about the SEA, but since we are the people who have done the SEA, it's a better thing for us to debate about.
To get into it together. Primary school students are people too. I love that. Peoples are peoples. Right? So yes, we're going to have Mr. Nando now. Nando, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Were you scared at all in the Assembly Legislature chamber with all these people around having to present these motions?
No, not really, because I already have much experience going around with people and doing things in a fun environment. So no, I wasn't really scared.
Oh, so we have a young veteran here, yeah? So, all right, coming out of the debate, would you say that your skills have grown, your debating skills have grown coming out from the preparation or the experience altogether?
Well, not really. Information about the house it's grown, but it was an opportunity for me to show off my debating skills that I didn't enhance at all. So yeah.
No cap, ladies and gentlemen, no cap. All right, so let's take one of the young ladies. Miss Elaine, how are you?
I'm fine.
You're fine? All right. So for you, I want to ask, was there anything that caught you by surprise, that threw you off, that seemed like a challenge, and how did you deal with it?
What seems like a challenge to me? What seemed like a challenge to me was that when I stood up, in practice it would be easier because you're around people who you're comfortable with, you know those. But when it's on the day now, you have other people from away, from wherever there is, just watching you. You don't know how much people staring at you. So for me, when I got up, I was kind of like anxious. I didn't want to mess up on anything, and I did end up messing up on one of the lines, and I started to get anxiety attacking the corner there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just messed up. Oh, I wonder what people would think about me. I hope my mommy don't say so. I hope this, I hope that. And then when I sat down now, and Zion George got up and said, he pleaded for 1 more minute for me. And when everyone around the horseshoe or wherever said aye and there were no no's, I was more confident on what I was going
with your
to
colleagues
say.
supporting you, right?
Yes.
Because that's what it's all about, all right? It's about having that group of persons with the right ideas, the same objectives and gains. And I really want to applaud you guys for that camaraderie. That's really excellent. And Trinidad and Tobago, we could take example from these youngsters, yeah? So you had your encounter, you had your little challenge, but you rose above it. Wonderful,
Yes.
all right? So let's go to Sienna. How are you?
I'm good.
All right, so mommy and daddy, everybody saw you in the debate.
Yes.
All right, so coming out of it, you seem quite pleased. We spoke already. She's a very confident young lady. Looking back on your whole experience, is there anything that you think you would have done differently from the preparation or even just the actual debate itself?
If I'm being honest with the actual
You should be honest.
I could have done way better in my presentation.
Okay, okay.
Like when it came to pronouncing certain words, like when I reached the words, my brain just had to freeze. But I knew the pronunciation, but my brain just had to freeze up. And I think that was because I was focusing mainly on people watching at me than what I had to say.
Yeah?
So
yeah.
if I could have gone back, I wasn't going to focus on everybody, and I'd have focused on presentation.
So you'd have stick to your objectives.
Yes.
So you hear that? We need to stick to objectives, stay focused, stay disciplined. It's the only way to succeed. I love that. Great advice. All right, so we have our superstar, Mr. Zion George, the hero of the moment. You helped your colleague when they were stumbling. Why did you choose to do that?
Because she was on our side, but little did I know that she was on the other side.
Yeah. So you help the other side. Yes. All right, that's okay. Once it's progress, we help. It doesn't matter what side you're on. Once it's progress, we're all for progress, right? Correct. Okay, so to you, with this debate, what do you do it again?
I am the assemblyman for Oxford.
Okay. Kind of young to be the assemblyman, but all right, I'll make sure I remember that. I'll move my district. Okay. So looking at this debate, what other topics do you think are important enough to be discussed at the primary plenary debate? What topics would you like to hear?
To keep the essay.
To
keep the essay.
To keep the SEA?
Yes.
All right, to keep SEA, to keep the secondary entrance exam, assessment, sorry. Yeah? All right, so that's it. I think we got everybody, Mr. R.J. Allen. Oh. Kimora, well, for you? Unless done, yeah. Well, this is the presiding officer. See, she's speaking she's sitting there, just observing, making sure everybody is within the decorum. So guys, all together, I mean, knowing that you took on such great responsibility sitting there in the chamber, what do you think is important that persons know when they're representing their country or communities and persons? Anyone, yeah?
When it comes to that, you have to be able to not do anything bad, because even though it might be you at the moment, you're still wearing the uniform of your school. Even though you're not wearing it, you still have the title of your school. So whatever you do, it will still impact on whatever school or district you're coming from. Because if I was not in the school, it will still affect my parents. Because if they realize that the child was doing something bad, or in some grand place like this, where they make decisions for Tobago for it to be better. If I was to do something out of place at that time, it would affect my parents, my school, my teachers, and everybody else that know me. So when it comes to saying that you're representing someone, you have to know how to stay in line, and you also have to make sure that you represent them well and try having fun out of it, but just don't do anything much out of it.
Excellent. I love that. Good decorum, good manners, and comportment. Yes, Ms. Reed?
I think that others should be capable of how to speak to others and
human skill.
How to respect people and speak formally, since we aren't at home or at school either way. Not everyone is our friend here. There were adults in the stands. Maybe someone could have used obscene language. That would be very bad, and it would reflect badly even on the Tobago House of Assembly members, since we, as the new politician,
the future politicians,
would make such mistakes perhaps in the future. And they would also reflect on what they have done. Like, why would they let students like us come into the house to curse obscene? That would be very bad for their reputation. So I believe we should know how to speak to others and speak respectfully amongst each other.
All right, well said. As you can see, I promised you they are a very intelligent bunch. And just quickly, just by show of hands, does anybody think that they'll be pursuing a future in politics or want to be a prime minister, secretary, a minister? Anybody after this experience? So you would say this experience encouraged you to pursue that, yeah? So there you have it. There you have it, Trinidad and Tobago. We have our future leaders, guys. So it's been wonderful. And from us here in Tobago, it's been a great day. Have a wonderful one, Trinidad and Tobago. And from my friends, what we tell them bye, everybody.
Bye.
Be great.